Hooray! Today we are talking about what happened during Move It March in my reselling business. I'm really excited to get into this video because I'm really happy with the result. Today I'm going to go over my overall sales for the month of March, how it breaks down per platform, a few other stats, and then I'm also going to be talking about what sold fast this month, which is something I've been doing for the past couple months and is, I think, something that is helpful. And it's something that I like to hear from other resellers, so I'm hoping that this information is helpful for y'all. So without further ado, let's jump into my numbers for March. As y'all know, my philosophy this last month was Move It March, which meant that I was just trying to move old inventory, accept offers, try to incentivize bundles, really just not get attached to any kind of ideal sales price, really just trying to get things going and get things flowing. I am going to pop up a graph here that kind of shows how my listings went and my sales went. So okay, the top graph is my listings per day and over the month of March, and as you can see, I was really pretty consistent. I wasn't listing a ton, but I was pretty consistent through the first 2/3 of March, and I was really trying my very best to list every single day, be very consistent. Gosh, even if it meant I had to stay up really late at night. And as y'all also know, I am very pregnant, and actually I'm filming today on April 1st, which is my daughter's due date. She's still in my stomach, but she was supposed to come today, April 1st. So by the end of March, I just started realizing, okay, I have so much I have left to do to get ready for this baby. I have so much I have left to do to pay taxes, etc. And I have to switch my attention to those things instead of reselling, which was really, really hard for me to do because I was so proud of how consistent I was being. But I did, and I still am very happy with the results, even though, as you can see from the other two graphs, my sales really dropped off the last third of March, especially on eBay. eBay really doesn't like it when you drop off or become inconsistent, but also on Poshmark. So let's just go over my numbers. Okay. I was really, through most of March, I was like, oh my gosh, I am going to have a $10,000 sales month. And then the last third, like I said, it dropped off. So I did not end up hitting that, but I came pretty darn close. I'm really happy with where I landed at $9,360.11 for my total sales. And then my earnings, which means after platform fees and shipping, but before cost of goods, was $7,054.30. So that's what was deposited into my bank account. And since a lot of what I sold was older inventory, for cash flow purposes, that made a big difference because I'm not spending nearly as much on inventory now as I was 2-3 years ago. And then for gross profit, so this is what I took home at the end of the day, $4,907.93. And as a solopreneur doing everything myself, making $5,000 profit in a part-time business, really, 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 really happy with that. If I could somehow maintain that, that would be incredible. And I just really think about, I've been listening to a lot of parenting podcasts, obviously, because I'm about to become parent to 2 girls instead of 1, but I've been thinking a lot about how grateful I am that I get to spend so much time with my children as I do, and it's really thanks entirely to reselling. So, and the fact that I could do this part-time by myself and make $5,000 in profit almost this past month, very happy about. So I actually only listed 80 items. And in fact, I didn't put it on the graphics here, but from the items I listed, 41 sold. So that's really good. But my total items sold was 261. So I was selling a lot of older inventory too, which makes me very happy because my inventory is so skewed. I just have way more older inventory than I have newer inventory, which is something, of course, I would love to change, but I can't really necessarily do that when only listing 80 things a month. But anyway, my average sales price did decrease because I was just trying to offload a lot of inventory. Previously, it's been $40 plus in this past few months that I've been reporting, and before that even. But this month, it was $35.86, which is not bad, but did understandably go down. If you haven't been watching my videos this month, especially my Ship With Me videos, which I did 2, which I'll link up on the screen, but actually I'll link up the second one because that's the one where I really went into like the strategy I was pursuing this month. And it's when I had a $1,500 sales weekend. But if you haven't been watching those, then you might be wondering, okay, why were your sales so much higher this month than the previous 2, even though you didn't list that much? And that's because I was really being aggressive with running sales using Poshmark VA. I think the first sale I ran was 40% off everything that was older than a month. And then the second one I ran was 50% off everything that was older than a month. And then I continued to run sales, but those were really the most 2 effective because after that, you know, those offers had already been sent and there weren't that many new likes, you know, in the following weeks. So I would highly recommend doing that if you haven't already with your older inventory. And Poshmark VA makes it super easy. I also use Poshmark VA to send all my offers to likers. And if you don't use an automation software, I would highly recommend trying out Poshmark VA, and you can use the link down in the bio, or you can just use my code MOGIBETH, one word, MOGIBETH. You can try it out 2 weeks free and then get 20% off your first month. But that was very effective. I was also pricing differently. I was also just accepting way more offers. There are like a handful of offers I really should have accepted, and they kind of haunt me, but because, you know, who knows, maybe if I would have been even more aggressive in my offer acceptance, I could have made it to 10,000, but probably not, but maybe. I was also just keeping a close eye on bundles. If people put together bundles, I was sending good offers on those, and just being much more active in my sales generation strategy on Poshmark in particular. Poshmark, if you watch my February sales recap video, you know kind of the theme of that was, is eBay going to overtake Poshmark? Well, this month, that was definitely not a concern or even like up for consideration. Let's go over those stats. So on Poshmark, I had $6,853.99 in sales. That is, I think, more than I had in total sales for my entire business in February. So just on Poshmark alone, I had that. And then on eBay, I had $1,863.13, which is a big drop off from February, which was a little over 2,500. So that was unfortunate, and I want to say it's because I stopped listing, but honestly, I'm not sure. I also had quite a few returns opened on eBay. Like I had a $150 sale just returned. So that's not included in this number. And then Mercari actually did jump up from February. February had a big dip in sales on Mercari, but I did sell $642.99 in sales on Mercari. In previous videos, I've been going over like where my inventory that I'm selling is coming from. In this video, I'm not going to do that because a lot of the inventory that I was selling was older inventory, and a lot of that is liquidation. I already know that. And so I don't need to go through all 261 items sold and figure that out. But at the same time, what I was listing was selling, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so speaking of, let's go over what sold fast. But before we do that, I just wanted to share 2 of my biggest sales from this month, because they are brands you're probably not going to come across a lot, but you definitely can come across them. And because I've seen other YouTubers come across them, my friend actually sourced one of these items for me at the bins. So I just want y'all to know about these brands. Okay, so the first is Sashin and Bobby. I've never thrifted this brand, but my friend who used to specialize in jeans, if you're a longtime viewer of this channel, you've heard me talk about that. She was at the bins and found this gown by this brand, knew a tag, and was an angel and gave it to me, which I was very grateful for. It did take a little while to sell, and I think I did reduce the price a little bit. I had it listed at $400, and I received an offer for $300 plus shipping on eBay, which I accepted, which gave me a gross profit of $237.32, and it sold after 163 days. That's not long. It's a little bit of time. Was that 5 months or something like that? Yeah, a little over 5.5 months for a gown that's $400. That's actually a pretty good days till sold. Definitely, she found it at the bins. You can find it at the bins. I will say I actually did come across this brand at a crossroads, and I did look it up and decided not to get it. So it's not one of those brands that you can get anything you find. This was a particularly gorgeous gown, but a lot of their pieces are going to be worth picking up. However, I would say with this next brand, I would pick up almost anything I find by them, but especially in, you know, newer gowns in excellent condition. I mean, condition is always something you have to take into account, but I have sold a handful of gowns by this brand because of liquidation, and this was my last one, and it's Talbot Runoff. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but the first word is Talbot. Don't confuse it with Talbots. Very different. Talbot Runoff, Runhoff. And this was a mermaid sequin gown I got in liquidation. I had it listed for $900. This literally just sold yesterday, last day of this month. Had it listed for $900, and I was going back and forth with this buyer, and she said, this is the highest I can go, $450, which I'd already sent out 50% off offers this month anyway. So I went ahead and accepted it, and I had made a gross profit of $354. Took 560 days to sell, but I have seen other YouTubers find this brand, and I know it's possible to find this brand out in the wild. So the day I find it, I will literally do a happy dance, because it can sell for, like, the reason I listed it at $900 is because I've had a history of selling it close to $1,000, but it can sell $500 to $1,000 with the right piece. So just wanted to make a note of that so that y'all knew those two brands before we get into what sold fast. Okay, so let's start out. We're going to go over a bunch of sales that sold fast. I removed all the items that sold fast that were under $25, just because I did not want to include that. So I'm going over everything that sold within a week. So let's start with what sold within 7 days. The two sales I'm going to go over first are both Dansko. So if you watched a thrift with me, which I'll try to link up on the screen if I can remember what it was, I picked up 3 or 4 Dansko shoes. 4 Dansko shoes? 3 Dansko shoes? One hasn't sold, but these two did. And then I also picked up NAOT shoes, and those actually just sold yesterday too. So Dansko is a brand I really like finding and picking up, and especially when it's in excellent condition like these were. So the first was a pair of Dansko women's Perry ankle booty in a size 38. Paid $14.99 for these at Goodwill. I'm listed for $64. These sold in a bundle for $31.30, which gave me a gross profit of $9.15, which isn't high. But I decided I was being aggressive with bundle sales and offers, and I actually went back and forth, I think, with this buyer, and then eventually just decided let's just let the Dansko shoes, because the Dansko shoes were recently listed, so I kind of wanted to get more for them. But anyway, gross profit $9.15, sold within 7 days. I could have gotten more for them, I think, but sold fast, made a quick $10, and that's good. Okay, and then the other Danskos, they were a pair of sandals, really, really cute. Love these. Also paid $14.99 for them. Had them also listed for $64, and they sold for a 30% off offer to Liker that Poshmark sent out for $44 plus discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $18.19, and they sold after 7 days. So that's probably more of what the other ones would have sold for if they didn't sell in the bundle. Very, very happy with that. And then the other item that sold within 7 days was one that sold in a bundle. I think it sold in a bundle with the next item as well on this list. But it was a pair of Acris Punto Mara pants. Acris Punto is not a brand that typically sells super fast, but certain styles are more coveted than others, and this is a signature style by them. I didn't know it when I picked it up at the time, but then after going to list it and looking it up, I did notice that. So these were a pair of Mara pants in a size 4 that I got at the Ben's actually for $1.05. I listed them actually a little lower than what other people were listing for, and that was something I was doing this month, for $88, and they sold in a bundle after 7 days for the adjusted bundle price, $61.88. So really good. And that gave me a gross profit of $48.45. So really, really, really good sale. Again, it sold after a week. And I think it sold in a bundle with these Lululemon Pace Rival Crop leggings that I also got at the same Ben's trip for $1.05. Had these listed for $40, and they sold for $28.13 in that same bundle. So Lululemon, it's not going to sell for as much as it used to. Like these crop leggings probably would have sold back in the day for $45 plus. It still sells really consistently and can sell really fast if you price it right. My gross profit on those was $21.45, and they sold after 5 days of being listed. So I didn't have any that sold after 6 days. We're jumping ahead to 5. And then the next was also a Ben's find. It was a Free People Stitch in Time quilted jacket. This was a good example of a piece that I could have waited for a higher price on because it's a rare older Free People style, and it has in the past sold for like $80 to $100. I went ahead and listed it at $89. So I was actually pricing a little bit under what other people were pricing it. And then I received an offer for $40, and I was like, do I want to wait? It hasn't sold immediately after listing. If it's really rare and highly sought after, it'll sell really, really fast. So it didn't sell immediately. Do I want to wait essentially like a few more months for like $60, or do I just want to take the $40 on this item I literally got for $1.09 and move on with my life? And I decided to do that, and I'm no regrets. So I accepted the $40 offer, and that gave me a gross profit of $30.91, sold after 5 days. So, I mean, I think that just goes to show my mentality this month, and it's one that I think I'm going to try to stay with as much as possible moving forward, and just really like not be attached to items and to what I think they should sell for, especially items like that. They're like older Free People, got at the bins, really happy making $30 from that. And that has not been my approach in the past. It's not everyone's approach. Maybe it doesn't make sense for you. But I think in this phase in my business, with the resources that I have, I really like this approach. Okay, and then next was another bins find. This was a Faherty gauze top in this floral print, really, really cute. And I got it at the bins for $1.61. I priced it at $49, and it sold for, I received an offer for $41, which was great. And I accepted it and made a profit of $29.17, and it sold after 5 days. Faherty is a really, really good brand for spring, summer. So if you come across it, check comps depending on how much you're going to pay. But yeah, I would definitely recommend being on the lookout for Faherty and picking it up. Next is a really good spring summer piece that I sold, and it's also a bins find. It's Park and Ronan swim trunks. Love selling swim right now. Would highly recommend going through the swim section in your Goodwill, and then also picking it up at the bins as well. Got this at the same bin strip for $1.61, listed it for $42. I received an offer on eBay for $28 plus shipping, which I accepted, and that gave me a gross profit of $19.92, and it sold after 4 days. So really, really happy about that. This was featured in a recent thrift trip, which I'll link up on the screen, and it was a new Attack NYX Evolution tank. This was on a new rack. I didn't check comps, I just grabbed it, and I'm glad I did. It sold on eBay. I got it for $7.99. Had it listed for $48 and received an offer for $40. Great reasonable offer plus shipping. And that gave me a gross profit of $26.13 after 4 days. So NYX is a really, really good brand to know, especially if you happen to come across a new tag. And then this is something that I got at Crossroads. I was really happy with this sale. It sold on Poshmark. It was this J. Crew block printed quilt jacket. With my conversion, I got it at Crossroads for $9.34. Had it listed for $79. Received an offer for $55, which I accepted, which gave me a gross profit of $34.66, and it sold after 4 days. This was actually J. Crew Factory, which just goes to show really certain styles by J. Crew Factory, still going to perform really well. It's just a very, very style dependent brand. Ooh, I love this sale too. It was a sale on Mercari, and it's also something that I got at Crossroads. It was a Lululemon ABC skinny tech pant, men's, and with my conversion, I paid $6.10 at Crossroads. Listed them for $69, sold full price on Mercari for $69, free shipping, and sold after only 4 days. There's been a lot of changes with Mercari this month. What an exciting month for Mercari. I have kind of a hot take on my approach to Mercari, and I don't really know how to share. I might share it on Instagram. I might share it here with like a little mini bonus video or something. But let me know in the comments down below if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on Mercari, and then what specifically you're interested in, because they changed a lot. Okay, next is an eBay sale. It was this Lane Bryant off the shoulder tiered dress that I got at the bins for $1.05. This is good. I listed it for $32, and then I received an offer for $22.40, which I went ahead and accepted plus shipping, and that gave me a gross profit of $17.85 and sold after only 3 days. So Lane Bryant is a brand I'm being much more particular and picky with. Basically only pick it up at the bins, but it can perform well, as evidenced here. Okay, and then in another recent thrift trip, I picked up 2 Patagonia jackets on a new rack. One was a women's jacket with a logo embroidered on it, and one was a kid's jacket. And they both sold really fast this month. So the kid's jacket had a flaw, had a hole on the elbow. Sold on Poshmark. I paid $12.99 for it, so I paid up. Had it listed for $45, received an offer for $35, which I accepted, and that gave me a gross profit of $15.01, but it sold in 3 days. So, very happy. Patagonia jackets sell well. Not a revolutionary concept, but definitely one that I'm just getting a little bit more comfortable paying up a bit for Patagonia jackets. Okay, and then this was another Mercari sale that did really well. This was an Eileen Fisher Tinsel Stretch boxy knit top. I honestly couldn't find a style name for this, but it was an extra large, and I got it at the bins. And so, extra large Eileen Fisher, love finding. I had it listed for $39, sold full price on Mercari for $39, and which gave me a gross profit of $27.06, and it sold after 3 days. So, very happy with that sale. Okay, my next sale was on Poshmark. Actually, I love the sale. It was a pair of jeans that I picked up just based off of instinct at the bins, because this is not a brand I pick up very often. It's Paige, and they were the Sutton wide leg jeans, and they were in excellent condition, so cute. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pick these up. Didn't check comps, but I only paid $1.61 for them. And then I listed them for $60. I think it was a little bit lower than what other people had listed them for, but it resulted in a fast, great sale. I received an offer for $48, which I accepted, which gave me a gross profit of $34.77 and sold after 3 days. So really happy about that sale. And then this was something I was actually considering keeping and decided to go ahead and sell it. It is a Nike premium high neck jumpsuit, super cute, wide leg, and I got it at the bins for $1.09. Had it listed for $45, and then it sold in a bundle. Had a good amount of bundle sales this month, which was great, for $26.33 when adjusted for that bundle price, which gave me a gross profit of $19.30, and it sold after only 2 days. So we'll definitely pick that up at the bins again for sure. These I actually picked up at a regular Goodwill in one of the thrift trips I mentioned. They were a pair of Sundance floral embroidered pants. I was kind of on the fence about picking these up because they were a size 4, which is a little bit small for what I like to pick up in Sundance and in general. In fact, side note, I was going through all of my inventory last night. I've said this a million times, and I've said it again, but it was astonishing to me how what I have left over in my inventory that's been around a long time, how so much of it is skewed towards extra small, size 23, like really small sizes. So I'm really going to be very, very selective with what I pick up in small sizes, super small sizes going forward. And I might even start skipping that section of the thrift store. So anyway, side note, but size 4 isn't like tiny. It's not a size 23, but still, I was on the fence. But I did pick them up for $7.99. And I listed them for $38. I received an offer for $34. Great reasonable offer, which gave me a gross profit of $19.21, and they sold after 2 days. So ended up being the right choice to pick those up. So I'm happy about that. Okay, this was a bins find. That was great, and it sold on eBay. This is a brand that I have been lucky to find a few times in the past month or two. I just recently found it too in a really good thrift trip with me that's coming up later in April. I loved that thrift trip. I'm excited to post it on YouTube. Anyway, it was Anthropologie Blank London Florence top. Blank London is a brand. It's not an in-house Anthropologie brand, but it's sold almost exclusively within Anthropologie in the States. Super cute pieces that have a higher than average sales price when it comes to Anthropologie, so it's a brand I would definitely know. And my cost of goods was $1.61. Had it listed for $54, and I received an offer for $45, which I accepted, plus shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $34.53, and it sold after 2 days. I think it was an international sale. I'm not sure about that, but that's probably the number one reason why I like selling on eBay. It's the only platform in which I can really easily do international sales, or only platform I sell on that I can do it at all. And so next was a Mercari sale. It was this Nookie bodycon sheath dress. It was an older style in Nookie, but Nookie is a really good brand to know because even though this was older, it still sold really fast. I got it at the bins for $1.09, and I had it listed for $69, received an offer on Mercari for $55, which I accepted, which gave me a gross profit after shipping and everything of $39.99, sold after only 2 days. And this was back when I was paying 10% to Mercari. So anyway, Nookie is an Australian brand. They make a lot of cocktail dresses, a lot of gowns too. Definitely just a really good one to know. Sold on places like Revolve. This was a sale. I haven't sold this brand in quite a while because I don't come across it very often, which is weird. But it's an Aloe District trucker hat. If you find an aloe hat, probably worth picking up, especially if it's in excellent condition like this one. That category within that brand, for whatever reason, is just high demand for it. But sold on Poshmark. I got it at Goodwill for $3.99. Kind of just picked it up on a whim right when I walked in the store. Listed it for $49 and it sold for $34. There was so much interest. Like as soon as I listed it, I'd offer on Mercari, a lowball offer on Mercari too. Like I probably could have sold this for a little bit more, but I was just really happy it sold so fast. And it gave me a profit of $21.19. Sold after 1 day. So very, very happy. Aloe hats. Now you know. Now I know. Okay, and then another Mercari sale. This is the last Mercari sale on the list. Judy Blue. Just sells so fast. This was a pair of Judy Blue straight leg jeans and the curvy, I don't know. Anyway, curvy straight leg jeans. It's size 14W, which is a good size. And I got these at Goodwill for $7.99. Listed them for $42. Sold full price on Mercari for $42. Mercari is like the only platform in which I regularly get full price sales. Well, I don't get a ton of sales on Mercari, but when I do, it's a good chunk of them are full price. And that gave me a gross profit of $21.37 after just 1 day. And then that other Patagonia jacket that I mentioned, the women's one with the corporate logo, it was a black jacket with a black logo, so it wasn't super, obvious, but I did pay up for this jacket, $19.99. It was the Nano jacket. And I listed it for $69 because of that logo, and it sold for $48. I think that's an offer to Liker and it gave me a gross profit of $16.39, but it sold after 1 day. So definitely would do that again. And then I got lucky enough to find Cezanne twice at the thrift store this month, which never happens, and it was very cool. Very happy with it. I'm about to actually list a silk wrap top that I found. But anyway, these were a pair of Cezanne Brute Sexy Denim jeans. Sold really fast. My cost of goods was $9.99 at Goodwill. Listed them for $74. Sold to an offer to Liker for $51 plus discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $28.79. Sold after 1 day. I love, love, love finding and selling Cezanne. One of the fastest selling brands. And then this was an experiment on my part because this is not in my comfort zone. It's not something I pick up and sell a lot. And that's Nike sneakers. I don't know anything about sneakers, but I saw these at Crossroads. They were half off, really good condition, really cute. And I was like, I Google lensed it. This actually looks like it might be good. Let's just get it and try it out. So I paid, I don't even think there was a conversion on this, $24.46. I paid like full price at Crossroads for this because I didn't trade in that day. And so I listed them for $94 and they sold in 1 day for $70. I think I woke up the next day to an offer for $70, which I accepted. And that gave me a gross profit of $31.54 and sold after 1 day. So moral to that story is some Nike sneakers sell well. I can't really be of much help outside of that. But, this might be something that I just try to get the bravery and courage to try out more in the future. Okay, my last item on this list is, again, in the category that I have been focusing on a lot in this past month, and that is swimwear. And this was also featured in one of my thrift trips that I mentioned previously. It is a Newitag Andy swimsuit. This was a brand that was new to me, but a lot of y'all commented on that video that this is a good brand to know. It's Andy, A-N-D-I-E. And this was a one-piece Tulum black swimsuit in a size large. I got it at Goodwill for $6.49. It was half off. And I decided to list a little bit lower because it kind of was a little bit, this style was a little saturated. So I listed it for $37, and then same day, like an hour after I listed it, received an offer for $25. And I just went ahead and accepted it. I could have probably sold it for like, I don't know, a little more, but very happy that it sold so quick. I had a fast return of $13.51 profit. And again, sold same day. So that is the video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful to y'all. I don't anticipate April being anywhere near my March sales numbers just because I can't run those sales again as successfully and effectively. And if I continue to sell off so much more than I'm listing, eventually I'm going to run out of inventory to sell. And also, I will probably not be listing again that much this upcoming month because hopefully I will have a newborn baby girl that I'm taking care of. But I am trying to photograph as much as possible before she comes so that I can have basically listings drafted and still be able to, continue with my reselling business. But I'm just so happy with the results of this month, and the fact that I did it all myself. I mean, a lot of the listings were old, so I didn't do those myself. But all the shipping, all of the sales generation, and the items I did list sold pretty well. So just really happy. Let me know in the comments down below how your March was. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, y'all. I will see y'all in the next one. Okay, love y'all. Bye.